Well, hey garden friends, it's Destry. Welcome back to my Oregon yard. Today I'm going to be working here out by the side of my roadside flower stand, and I'm going to be doing some pots on either side of my flower stand. I do have some really big planters, but they're filled with summer annuals. So now I'm going to go ahead and transition them for the fall season and put some new beautiful plants in. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you've been following my gardening journey for a while, then thanks so much. But basically, the history of my flower stand is it used to be our kids' play structure. So my husband and I took down the play structure. Our kids got a little too old for the slides and the swings and all those fun things when they were little. And so I decided at that point to start to, offer up some jarred bouquets and arrangements for my friends and neighbors here on the corner of my home. So we reimagined it into this, and for every season, I've had it up now almost a year. It's been about a year, and for every season, I try to decorate it a little bit. I've done some things for Valentine's Day, some things for Easter, and kind of springtime decor. I already have put up my fall decor, which I'll share with you. But more recently this summer, I put two large planters on either side. Again, just to bring some attention to the flower stand and just to, because I enjoy doing planters and planting things up. And I had gotten these two big pots. So I planted them for a summer arrangement, and I had kind of a red, white, and blue. So I did a red geranium, some white snow euphorbia. I think it's called snowball euphorbia. And then I did a blue, just like a little blue kind of trailing flower. I'm not sure exactly what kind it is. And that looks really, really pretty. And I think though that I want to change that up. I want to get my geraniums out of there because I do want to overwinter those in the greenhouse or possibly in my garage. And I want to fill them with some fall color. So let me go ahead and flip the camera around. I'll show you what I've got in the two pots. I'll show you how I've decorated the flower stand. And if you're interested in knowing more about like how I do my little arrangements or how I've set up my flower stand in the past, I'll link some videos down in the description for you. All right, guys, well, this is how the planter on the right side of my flower stand is looking so far. And this planter is honestly just a kind of a bucket with two string handles. You could use it for toy storage or I'm sure 100 other things. I had ordered these off Amazon and I accidentally got the wrong size. So I decided to make them planters. So I did go ahead and drill holes in the bottom for drainage. Now you can see this geranium has been super happy in this pot all season long. This is the little blue. This was my blue for my red, white, and blue. But again, this can read purple now for the fall season. So I'm just going to let it go, and it still looks really good. But I am going to dig out this red geranium. But it is looking really, really good. Now, I do struggle with budworms on my geraniums. So what I'm probably going to do, and in fact, there might be two plants in here, is I'm going to dig these out and repot these into some other pots. And I'm going to overwinter these. Now, you can do that lots of different ways. You can cut back most of the foliage and then just have, put them in a place that won't freeze, like a garage or, a shed or something like that. I do have a greenhouse, so if I have room for it in there, I probably will put them in there. And this is that diamond frost euphorbia. I'm sorry, I think I said snowball euphorbia. I meant diamond frost euphorbia, I believe is the name of it. I've got some cobwebs to contest with here. But it has, kind of filled in different areas. And I'll show you the other pot. You can see it a lot more. And the other thing I have in here, you guys, is this little vine maple tree. So these are just some little saplings that I had. And so I just stuck one of them in the ground. So the other thing I want to do is, kind of trim this up. I'm starting to train the trunk of this tree. Now it's set in the back of the planter a little bit so that the plants could be in front, but I'm not planning on removing the trees today. I'm planning on leaving them in there. So anyway, this is the one on this side. And then I did just put some inexpensive Dollar Tree picks in there to dress up the flower stand a little bit. And then the one on the other side, kind of show you, has the same planting, but look how much bigger the diamond snow euphorbia got. I mean, it's so pretty. It kind of just comes up on the top of the planting. You can also see my geraniums on the side are struggling a little bit more. Like I said, they do get the budworms, and then, oh, you know what? I'm struggling with some drainage in this pot. There is some standing water in this pot. Now, I had that problem before, and I put it up on some rocks, but it obviously didn't work. So I need to fix that. You can also see the little maple tree on the side is quite a bit smaller. You know, it doesn't get as much sun over here. I don't know if that's why, but it does look a little different on this side. Same with the blue. They're doing okay, but yeah, this pot, it has like a bunch of standing water in it. I can't get my camera to focus on it, but I've got to fix that problem too. And then these are the arrangements I put together just this morning for the flower stand. They look so pretty. All my dahlias are just doing really good right now with this cooler weather. Now we're supposed to have, in our 10-day forecast, we're supposed to have about 10 days of on and off rain. So on the forecast, it says like 50% chance of rain, things like that. So I feel like this is going to be maybe our last dry day for a while. And then up on the top, I just decorated with some faux leaves and some kind of felt bunting that I got at the dollar store. And then I made that wreath with some plants this season. And then I just have the banner in the back, which is really cute. I think it's nice to kind of have it back there in case it gets too wet this season. And then on this side, I also wrapped a little bunting around the house there, the top of the house. So I usually will do that. I'll put like a focal point there in the front and then, you know, try to have a few decor items, not a ton, but just something to like draw your attention to the flower stand. Anyway, so I really need to get in here. I mean, like this pot is looking really pretty right now. I actually don't mind it, but I did want to put some fall color in. I did do one little planting here of these little bedding zinnias that are orange, and those took really well. And then, you know, we haven't had a cold enough night. I mean, my coleus is, yeah, it's kind of done. Some of these are kind of done. But you can see I just let it go to flower. So again, at some point will pull all that out, but it is some nice autumnal color. And then my pink yarrow actually is reblooming now that, again, we're getting some cooler temperatures. So this is a nice, pretty spot of color. My Rebecca's here are kind of done, but again, I leave them up for winter interest and fall interest. I think they're kind of cool. So I'm not going to mess with any of the landscape plants today. I'm just going to be working on the 2 pots. All right, and let's take a look at some of the plants that I have to work with here. These are some new plants that I have purchased recently. You can see I have some gorgeous pansies. I love pansies for fall. They're so hardy, they're so easy. I do have this little guy. This is an ostospermum. I never say it right, you guys. Ostospermum. And it is reblooming. I bought 2 of them and one of them died. So, but this one's reblooming. So I only have the one though, so it would be a little off balance. I've got these small little ornamental kales. I had planned for those for my window box, so I might hold those off, but I might use some of the pansies today. And then over here, I have some really beautiful marigolds that I grew from seed to gorgeous ornamental kales, and those will last all winter long. Now the mums, or I'm sorry, the chrysanthemums, these ones, they will peter out when it gets too cold, but they do really good in cooler temperatures. So I'm probably going to try to use up all of those. And then I have 2 beautiful mums here that are purple. So again, trying to go with sort of the orange golds and the purples here, and then maybe accent with a few of the pansies. So I think that's my plan. I'm going to start with the things on this side first and get those bigger things placed. And then if I have any room, I'll tuck some pansies in. All right, well, I've got a couple buckets so that I can lift out the geraniums. And if you've never overwintered geraniums before, it's really easy. What I like to do is I will cut them back to some degree. So I'll go ahead and definitely deadhead these. And then if there's any like parts that look bad or dead, you know, I kind of clean them up. I will go ahead and repot them. I'm just moving them to the buckets for now, but I'll repot them up. And then what I do is I take the hose and I spray them pretty aggressively. So I'm going to spray everything down, clean off the plants. Now I'm in luck that it's going to rain, so I might just go ahead and leave them in the rain, but spraying them down kind of just, you know, kind of cleans them off, gets any bugs and stuff off of there. And then I will treat them for bud worms. So one thing I struggled with last year with overwintering was bud worms. So if you bring them in to the greenhouse or whatever, they can get on other plants. Now the cold will eventually kill them, but I want to try to give these as best of a chance as I can. So I'm going to go ahead and spray them all with, you know, a spray. But then you can overwinter them pretty easily. You could do it in a shed or a garage or anywhere that doesn't freeze. I think I have a different video on that. And again, I'll try to find that one for you. But it's something I've done for a couple years now, which is why some of these are so big. And then, of course, this one just got really big and vigorous because it was in this bigger pot this year. So I got to go grab my gloves. And then I might also grab my clippers too. I might also, you know, trim back some of these other plants as well, just so that I can have room to play around with all the new plants I'm going to be adding. And I'm hoping if I just kind of get down here at the bottom and kind of rock and roll, I want to try to get as many of the roots as I can. So I'm trying not to cut the roots too badly and get it by the clump. All right, so here's my first one. Grab the bucket so you can see the root system there. And again, I could cut this way, way back, but I'm just going to set it there for now. That was just one plant. And now this little blue one in here, again, I sort of disturbed his roots. So I might end up just taking those out. I've got another geranium here. And again, some of these won't need as big of a pot. So that's why I'm just going to put them all into buckets. And then later on, I can determine what size pots I need. Okay, this is another big one here. And as I'm in here, I can see a little bit of slug and snail damage. So when I plant up these new plants, I'm going to want to be sure to treat them with some sort of, I think I used the Corys, I think is what it's called. This one got really big. So move these over. That one's pretty small. Yeah, I knew one of these was huge. So look at this one. So here's that one. Nice big one. But it's time for those to go. See what else we can do here. All right. So I'm going to groom some of these bottom leaves, just a few. Figure out how I want this to go. Oh, that's so pretty. So I don't really like this diamond snow euphorbia here in the front. So I don't know. I guess it's all right. I could try to kind of tuck it around like that. I guess that looks okay. I wonder if I could put maybe some marigolds in the back. I really want a little pop of orange here in the front. There we go. Something like that. I could probably tuck one there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So I think what I'm going to do is before I commit to putting in any of this, like actually potting it, I'm going to do my other one and kind of see how that looks before I dig all the plants in. Okay, so the first thing I have to do with this planter is get the water out. It's got a ton of standing water. I'm not sure what is going on here. I'd put this up on some bricks or rocks or something, but obviously it's not draining. So I think I'm going to go in the garden and see if I can find or just look around for some rocks to prop this one up on. That's what I had done before, but it obviously did not work. All right, well, these are going to be happy to get out of here because it's like boggy in here. Oof, does not smell good either. This one's looks like it might have rotted. Oh man, I didn't realize they were in such bad shape. All right, now that I'm looking at these other tired annuals, I'm just not feeling it. I want this to be new and fresh, and so I am going to ditch. I think I'm just going to pull all of this old stuff out of here in both pots. It's just not worth it. It's not jiving with my new stuff. All right, guys, well, here are all the geraniums. I think I had 6, something like that. There was 2 big ones, and then the rest of them were, I think, cuttings I did last winter. I can't remember. Anyway, there they are. I haven't done anything with the pansies yet, but here's what I'm thinking about for layout. So I took away all that other stuff. Now I think I am going to trim back this tree a little bit just so that it matches the other one a little bit more. But I've got 3 of the marigolds in front, and then of course the beautiful purple cabbage, and then the beautiful purple mums on that side. Now this one I really struggled with because I put it up on some rocks. You can see how soupy it is. I'm also going to take out the irrigation. Sorry, I'm throwing my gloves around. I'm going to take out the irrigation tube for a couple days, and hopefully it will drain and sort of right itself, I guess. But you can see how much shorter this one is. So I think I'm going to cut the other one back a little bit just so that it's not, just so they're not totally different. And I'm going to go ahead and pot this up. So I just have this mirrored on this side. I've got the cabbage on the left, the mum on the right, and then the 3 marigolds in front. So I think that's going to be good. I'm going to go ahead and get these in the ground, and hopefully within a week or so, more of this will be blooming. Now, one trick I have for you if you don't want to pot these up is you could literally just keep them in the containers and literally just set them in like that. As long as you keep them watered, that would totally be fine. I am going to go ahead and plant them, but you can do the same thing with any cover pots with your mums and stuff. They really don't last that long, so sometimes it's just easier to just pop them in a cover pot and not actually plant them, if that makes sense. This one just says pink. I think it reads more as a purpley color, but again, these are not going to grow very much. So mainly I'm just getting them in here and wanting to cover the roots a little bit, but I'm not worried about planting space or anything like that because these really won't get that much bigger. Now these cabbage will last all season for me. They're so great. I guess they're more of a kale. Oh no, it does say ornamental cabbage. But the thing is, the cold just makes them get a little bit more deeper in color, so they can really withstand a lot. They take a lot of abuse in a way, in a lot of cold temperatures. I probably will need to get a little bit more soil in this pot. And then hopefully these marigolds will bloom really soon too. Now the marigolds might put on a little bit more size, so I might not do 3 here. I might just do 2, although I like to put things in odd numbers. So maybe I'll try to sneak 3 in here if I can move this back just a little bit. Now I want to face things forward. Yeah, I think I want to try to put 3 in here if I can. That would be nice. And I'm just going to go grab some soil and fill in the back. I'm also considering this maple. It has 2 sort of main branches, which isn't ideal, but it's okay. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave it. Well, guys, I'm so excited for how these planters turned out today. I think that they look fresh and ready for the fall season. I'm excited to see how these marigolds open up in the next couple weeks here and how these mums open up as well. I also like that I have these foundation plants of the little vine maples in each pot. So then I can just kind of change out some of the plants for the season. But this definitely has more of a fall vibe now, which matches the rest of my flower stand. So tell me in the comments, what are some of your fall favorite plants to plant up this time of year? I really love and gravitate towards these beautiful kale and cabbages. And of course, I love mums. They are really fun to have in the garden. So tell me what you like to grow. All right, well, here is a little sneak peek of how everything turned out. This planter looks new and fresh for the fall season. Like I said, I can't wait to see some of these flowers open up, and it just looks cleaned up and, just freshened up. I did put my little picks back in there just because I think they're kind of fun to add some pumpkins. And then this one, again, I had to prop it up on some rocks and stuff, so it's a little uneven, but hopefully I can leave that that tube out, the tube for the water for a few days, and kind of hopefully it will bounce back a little bit and not be quite so wet. And it was super sweet when I was out here. I had a woman come by and bring some jars back for me and pick up some more fresh flowers. So it's really fun to be sharing these cut flowers with friends and neighbors. So if you've been thinking about opening a little roadside stand or sharing, produce, eggs, whatever with your friends and neighbors, you should totally do it. It's really fun and it's a fun way to meet new people. All right, well, I think the flower stand is officially done for the fall season. I have some geraniums that I need to treat and pot up and overwinter. And I've got more pansies and that one astrospermum. I still haven't used it anywhere. Maybe I'll just, I don't know, maybe I'll stick it in the ground. I'm not sure. But the pansies, again, I think I'm going to save those for my window box. And then I've got 2 left of my seedlings here. And again, maybe I'll pop them in my window box. That's another project I'm going to be doing soon. Thanks so much for hanging out with me in the yard today, guys. I hope that you liked this video and that it inspired you to do a fall planting in your garden or your yard. And if you liked this video, could you give it a like and subscribe to the channel? I would really, really appreciate it. So be sure to check out these videos and playlists that I have linked for you next. If you like different fall gardening and decorating videos, I've got lots here on my channel for you. All right, guys, well, it's on to the next fall project. If you need me, I'll be doing some gardening. I'll see you guys later. Bye.